my name is Andrea Earle, and welcome to episode 4 of the Building Classroom Community podcast. This is the show where we talk about all aspects of building community among the learners in your classroom, so that every student feels welcome, safe, empowered, and heard. My goal is to support classroom teachers with practical, actionable strategies that you can try tomorrow. In this episode, I'll share how I've used the Frayer Model to build community in my own classrooms. A traditional Frayer Model is a graphic organizer used to help students determine or clarify the meaning of vocabulary words encountered while listening, reading, and viewing texts. It is also used before reading to activate prior knowledge, during reading to monitor vocabulary, or after reading to assess vocabulary. The Frayer template is divided into 4 quadrants, with a vocabulary word in the middle. Each quadrant has a prompt. They are definition, characteristics, examples, and non-examples. The non-examples can be particularly impactful as they help students differentiate between 2 similar or often confused words or concepts. As you can imagine, using the Frayer model for vocabulary all the time could get a bit monotonous. So several years ago, John Carippo reimagined the Frayer model. He said, instead of a word, how about having students frayer a concept or an idea? The first iteration of his reimagined Frayer model can be found in the First EduProtocols Field Guide, Book 1. The name of the activity? Frayer a friend. The idea is that students pair up and interview each other. This can be done on paper or using Google Slides. Then each student introduces their partner to the class. As a middle school teacher, I would have a new group of students rotate in at the semester to my elective class. So I decided to do Frayer a friend. I started by having students pair up and complete the slides template about their partner. I told students that once they were done sharing, I was going to print their slides and display them in the classroom. Pro tip, if you plan to print student slides, preset the slides template to the paper size you'll be using. Go to Page Setup in the deck and change the size to 11 by 8.5. Then they'll be the perfect size to print. So students had fun creating their slides, and they worked extra hard to make them detailed and visually appealing since they knew they would be displayed. While I'm usually more focused on content than making slides pretty, in this instance, I encourage students to pretty up their slides and add lots of detail, which they did because they knew they were going to be publicly displayed. We then popcorned around the room with each student introducing their partner when their slide was displayed on the screen. In my opinion, that's the only good use of the popcorn strategy. After introducing their partner, classmates got to ask 2 questions related to the information shared. Either partner was welcome to respond. And this is where the magic happened. One young man shared that his partner was an avid player of a particular video game. Another student across the room said that he played that game too and asked what his username was. Turns out the 2 boys had been playing together online for months and didn't realize that they attended the same school, let alone they were in the same class together. They had both been brought into the game by a mutual friend. But in that moment, a true friendship was born. Had I not taken time to have students get to know each other, they may never have made that connection. By the way, I also completed the Frayer a friend about myself to help students get to know me better. In that particular class, we had an even number of students, so I did my own. But if I have a class with an odd number of students, then I'll interview one of my students and I'll have them interview me. If I do pair up with a student, I make sure to choose a volunteer so that I know that person will be comfortable chatting with me. In 2021, I was working as an instructional coach, but due to the sub shortage, I was asked to long-term sub in a virtual 5th grade class before the teacher was hired. Well, having already taught virtually the year before, I knew that building relationships was going to be key. So every day for the first week, I had students Frayer something. First, they Frayered a favorite food, then a favorite sport or activity, then an artist or band, and finally a vacation spot, real, bucket list, or imaginary. Each day, every single student would share one quadrant from their Frayer. Because they had created their slides and it was their ideas, each student had something to share. This activity was the perfect opportunity for me to teach tech skills, assess reading and writing ability, and help students build confidence in speaking. By repeating the same lesson frame each day, students became more confident and were able to focus more on the content and less on the process. After a week of Frayering, I was ready for Frayer a friend. I put students in pairs in breakout rooms and let them get to know each other better. Because of my intentionality of doing 5 Frayers independently, with students then sharing out to the group, by the time I introduced Frayer a friend, students were very comfortable with the structure and able to complete the task interviewing their partner. In the ensuing weeks, I had students Frayer several other topics, more academically focused, including the main ideas from the Declaration of Independence. Building community needs to be intentional. The Frayer Model EduProtocol is a great strategy that can be used all year long. But creating templates can be time-consuming. So I have a curated collection housed in Wakelet full of templates that you're welcome to make a copy and use tomorrow. Some of these templates have been created by me, but most have been created by other amazing educators who are only too happy to share. For more information on EduProtocols, check out the EduProtocols field guides or eduprotocols.com and the EduProtocols Facebook group. Just to review the workflow for a Frayer model: 1 key concept or idea, 4 quadrants, 1 slide, and about 10 minutes. Students then compare and share. When you try out a Frayer model, share your experiences in the comments. We'd love to hear how it went in your classroom and any ideas or iterations that you've come up with, because we're always better together. Remember, teaching is a work in progress. After 30+ years in the classroom, I'm still working to refine my practice and meet the needs of the learners in front of me. So let's work together to create classroom communities where you and your students can thrive. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.